It's a great pleasure to be here, specifically to be surrounded by young people from Europe and the Arab world to talk about an issue I think it's the most important to you. It's dialogue and the role of cities. I think we derived a little bit from talking about cities and local governance, and it would be great if we focus in the last part of this session on that. I have prepared written talk because I want to give you some examples from what UNESCO and its partners are doing in promoting this collaboration among cities, and what are further opportunities that yourselves and others can help us promote. The foundations for this dialogue, therefore, are very strong. For what unites Europe and the Arab world goes far beyond geography. The profound connections between these regions are cultural, political, economic, moral, and intellectual, linking past, present, and future through interaction, exchange, and understanding. The timing for this encounter could also not be more fitting. Tomorrow, 10 December, is a Human Rights Day. On 18 December, we'll celebrate International Migrants Day and Arabic Language Day. Today, and as we heard from two speakers, nowhere are these deep connections more resonant than in cities. It's an increasingly urban world. They're centers of migration, of diversity and connectivity. They're sites of innovation, of learning, of economic development, of exchange, of dialogue and cooperation. It's also from cities that many of the greatest challenges of our time emerge, and in cities that they must be faced. From growing inequalities and poverty, and the mayor from Byblos have talked plenty about that, to the interconnected challenges of inclusion, discrimination, isolation, and marginalization, which must be understood as key factors in creating the conditions that can lead to radicalization and violent extremism. I'll talk a bit about UNESCO before I talk about examples. With our multidisciplinary mandate connecting education, the sciences, culture, and communication and information, and through our involvement in establishing and convening global networks at city-level actors, UNESCO works closely with city authorities and diverse urban stakeholders. Our urban platform brings together a wide range of existing networks dedicated to advancing different dimensions of sustainable urban development, including the UNESCO Creative Cities Network, the Global Network of Learning Cities, World Heritage and Cities, the Mega Cities Alliance for Water and Climate Change, and the International Coalition of Inclusive and Sustainable Cities, ICAR. And in the latter one, in the coalition, every city that engages in the coalition, and we have around 500 cities across the world, mayors or governors commit to a 10-point plan of action covering commitments to promote inclusion and fighting discrimination in education policies and programs, similarly for housing, employment, and cultural activities. To move to examples, there's never been a need and potential for the Euro-Arab cooperation at the city level than the current situation of refugees in the Arab world and in Europe today. Sadly and tragically, 2015 saw the record-breaking figure of 1 million refugees and irregular migrants reaching Europe, with close to 4,000 losing their lives in the Mediterranean Sea, which is a sea of both Europe and the Arab world. In 2016, the tragedy persists with almost 350,000 refugees and migrants crossing the Mediterranean to Europe and almost 4,700 deaths estimated to date, which is so far 700 from compared to last year. In the Arab world, more than 4.5 million refugees from Syria and in just 5 countries, Turkey, Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq, and Egypt. Definitely, this arrival of refugees and migrants into cities, either in the Arab world or in Europe, has direct effect on cities' governance. It highlights, therefore, the importance of cities as key actors for promoting inclusion of every inhabitant of the city and their capacity to make positive changes, and through connecting local and regional and international actions. And in the case we're living in the Arab world or in Europe, it's really for city authorities in both regions to come together and look at solutions. And it's in this spirit of collaboration and solidarity among the two regions that UNESCO, with the Mariana Vardinoyannis Foundation support and collaboration with the European Coalition of Cities Against Racism, ECAR, have joined hands in a partnership for the initiatives on welcoming cities for refugees, promoting inclusion, and protecting rights. The research undertaken as part of this initiative highlights city responses in Europe to the reception and integration of refugees and migrants. Another initiative among cities is one we are launching next February in Tunisia. It's in the context of the work of the Arab Coalition of Cities Against Racism and Xenophobia and Discrimination, with the European Research and Training Center for Human Rights and Democracy in Graz, Austria, Graz being a member of the European Coalition. The initiative will build on UNESCO's work, and it aims to strengthen the capacities of municipal authorities and other stakeholders to promote a culture of inclusion of human rights and citizenship, with a major role for youth in this. Talking of youth, as you know, I have this with me here. We have another major initiative, which is the NetMed Youth Project, which is supported by the European Union. It's a joint multidisciplinary response to support young people in Eastern and Western Mediterranean countries in overcoming shared common challenges related to social inclusion. The initiatives contribute to the creation of an enabling environment for young women and men in the region to develop skills, exercise their rights, build media capacity, and meaningfully engage as active citizens, particularly in decision-making and planning processes at the national, but specifically at the municipal level. I think some of the earlier discussions, which wasn't really focusing on cities, mostly on youth, relates to the fact that definitely, as the mayor of Jbeil said, it's an issue of unemployment that triggered all patterns of extremism in the region and beyond. But also it's the issue of the lack of trust of young people in structures around them and their engagement with them. That's why our program really focuses on getting young people engaged at their level, locality, community. And this is where we see a major role for cities and for governors, for mayors. And we're happy to have one of them with us here today, and to promote the role of youth, because it's only by taking active action in issues affecting your communities. It's not necessarily always economic. It's also issues of identity, of culture, of how we understand our culture, how we engage with other cultures, that will support youth in building different futures for them and for us, I hope.
Yes.
Another program of UNESCO, I'm almost finishing, I'll give 2 other examples, is a UNESCO program Bridging Learning Gaps for Youth, which supports education systems in Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, and Iraq. It promotes access to quality secondary and higher education, teacher training, and the resilience of education system, including providing education services for refugees without any discrimination. An additional initiative currently in the pipeline is the collaboration with the Ministry of Education of Greece with UNESCO on supporting the education and integration of asylum seekers and refugees in Greece. And as I spoke earlier about our partnership with the Vardinoyannis Foundation, cities in Greece have the major responsibility to address issues of incoming refugees and to ensure from the onset their inclusion, access to housing, to education, to health services. As we see from the above, youth is a key player in city platforms, either in their own countries or throughout diaspora, and we have many examples of youth in Europe organizing or planning initiatives to be implemented specifically with refugees in the Arab world. And this vision responds to the UN Secretary General's plan of action to prevent violent extremism. And I think we really should refer to violent extremism more than terrorism or linking violent acts to any religion. And I think some of the speakers have stressed that. This plan of action of the Secretary General makes explicit reference to the key role of young people in local decision-making processes. So that's why in UNESCO and within the UN system, we have a major commitment to ensure young people engagement and policy and other processes at the city level. As an example of that is the UNESCO Youth Forum. It's the only instance that's associated with the UNESCO, within the UN, UNESCO is the only agency that created a forum for young people to be part and parcel of its general conference. So when world leaders meet to decide the strategy and program and budget of the organization for 2 years, there are youth from all over the world. It's a forum of more than 300 people that come here also and discuss issues. And what happens when they go back to their countries, they are committed to work on in their locality, in their community, in their cities, to implement some of the ideas they developed here. Also, they develop this network, so they work with each other. And really, a good example of cities collaborating together or localities collaborating together on a global level is through the action of youth. And the Youth Forum is one example. The importance of the example of the Youth Forum is that UNESCO and its member states committed to considering youth as key actors, as an agency that has a role in shaping policies and programs. As you see here, there's a hashtag of the Unite for Heritage. It's a global youth-driven campaign powered by UNESCO that aims to celebrate and safeguard cultural heritage and diversity around the world, promoting mutual understanding and intercultural dialogue. We have also examples of the Creative Cities Network, and I have here the publication. It will be soon available, but it's online. It's a flagship publication on culture for sustainable development. It really also culture and the urban future focuses on the role of cities, of culture in cities in promoting inclusive and sustainable development. There are many examples of the city initiatives that UNESCO work on. So, to end, the interconnections between these examples highlight the importance of multidisciplinary, holistic action with the active and full engagement of young people, young women and men in the Arab world in Europe, but I know that you connect now with social media across the globe. So we really rely on you in pushing UNESCO's work with our partners in cities much further. So cities have a key role in promoting dialogue, cooperation and understanding between cities at a global level, at a regional level, and I hope much more action between European and the Arab world, between European cities and Arab world cities, or cities in the Arab world. These are a few tangible examples of how cities could work together to promote Arab-Euro dialogue. And actually, we hope that we can work with you and many other stakeholders to further enrich our action within this very promising platform of the Euro-Arab dialogue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, we now have a final round where the young members of this audience can participate. Did you want to answer something specific about Lebanon?
أنا مرة أول بس عندي intervention صغيرة. أول شيء العالم العربي مستر ناصر منه عالم منه أنظمة بعثية. الأنظمة البعثية هي حليفة للأنظمة الداعشية. لما أراد الشباب العربي المثقف الفهمان المنفتح المتطور تغيير ديمقراطيا هذه الأنظمة خلقت بالمقابل الداعشية السياسية والداعشية الفكرية والداعشية الإرهابية. فالأنظمة العربية أنظمة معظمها داعشية، إنما الشعب العربي والبلدان العربية بلدان منفتحة متطورة متجانسة عاشت فيها كل الأديان المسيحية والإسلامية حياة كريمة قطعت كافة الحضارات عليها حضارات متتالية ومزيج من المسيحية والرومانية والفارسية وكل الأنظمة قطعت عليها وكان في تواصل وتعايش. إنما اللي عم نشوفه من بعثية سياسية في بعض الأنظمة العربية اللي بنعرفها تماما مثل سوريا والعراق، ونحن في لبنان خبرنا كثيرا الأنظمة البعثية وما عانت باللبنانيين وشو عملت بالأنظمة اللبنانية والشعب العربي. هي حليفة تماما للأنظمة الداعشية وهي سبب خلق هذه الأنظمة الداعشية. الشباب العربي اللي هو طواق للتغيير هو طواق للثقافة وللعلم وللازدهار وللديمقراطية، هو الصورة الحقيقية للعالم العربي المنتظر، للعالم العربي غدا وبعد غدا. وهي هي الصورة اللي بدنا ننشرها في كافة أنحاء العالم، صورة الشعب العربي المتطور المتحضر المثقف الطواق للديمقراطية مثل ما عايشة كل شعوب العالم.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. We have one final round now for young people.
Je voudrais simplement rajouter un mot.
I can only take one question.
J'étais interpellé, donc je voudrais rajouter un mot. Je comprends très bien ce que dit le...
Now because we have another presentation.
Non, mais moi je vais répondre parce que j'étais interpellé. Donc moi je comprends très bien ce que dit le maire de Byblos et vous avez raison. Le Liban, avec la France et le Mexique, vous êtes un des trois pays laïques au monde, donc, puisque la laïcité est dans la Constitution. Et le modèle libanais, c'est un modèle qu'il faut défendre, et je comprends votre réaction. Mais la genèse de Daesh, la genèse d'Al-Qaïda, vient quand même des exactions et des manquements des pays arabes depuis les indépendances. Et ça, vous ne pouvez pas me l'enlever. Il y a eu négation des minorités, négation des libertés. Sinon, on n'aurait pas eu ce qui s'est passé en Tunisie, ce qui s'est passé en Égypte et ailleurs. Je suis désolé.
Okay, thank you very much. I have one question there.
My name is Reem Saqir from the Syrian Arab Republic. I work for a civil society organization called the Syria Trust for Development. And up until this session today, we've spoken about several things. We've spoken about threats to cultural heritage, eliminating stereotypes, heritage protection initiatives, fighting violent extremism, and terrorism and racism. And I think the rise in racism lately is directly related to the threat of terrorism. And although some of the reasons for terrorism that were given on this panel were unemployment and Ba'athist governments, I think we were tiptoeing around a very important issue there, is that terrorism is directly related to Wahhabism, and it has a home just like Wahhabism does. And I think if we were ever to get to any results in any discussion, it is important that we say things as they are. But just a question to Ms. El Khoury. You spoke about these programs that are involving youth and how to engage youth in these initiatives. And if I was to speak about Syria, there is an overwhelming youth representation in Syria's civil society organizations. And so what plans or initiatives do you have in place for these programs to expand and to connect with youth inside Syria and to build the capacity of these civil society organizations that are already implementing, let's say, similar programs, but are struggling at the moment because of a lack of cooperation between organizations inside Syria and organizations outside Syria, international organizations and UN agencies. So if you could please comment on that.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. You have the floor.
It's working? Yeah. Thank you very much for the question. UNESCO works within the United Nations systems in Syria. We don't have an office there. And although UNESCO is very much involved in supporting the educational system and protecting the cultural heritage of Syria, definitely the actions are much limited than we would have hoped to because of our, it depends on availability of resources and funds and access to the sites. But also our office in Beirut that covers the office in the country covers Syria, works with partners from Syria. I think I do remember that last year there were trainings with civil society on how to protect refugees and provide the basic services. There's much more, I agree with you, that needs to be done in Syria. Living in a conflict situation doesn't allow easy access, specifically that we don't have an office there. But we are active with other partners, and I don't have the details, but I know that our office in Beirut works with NGOs that they could have access to or that they could come to Beirut to plan activities with them. Maybe Nada, you know more.
Okay. Thanks very much. So, just very quickly, Monsieur Gallet.
Sur la Syrie, effectivement, bon, il se trouve que je préside aussi l'ONG Acted, qui est une grande ONG humanitaire et qui travaille beaucoup au Moyen-Orient, qui a eu malheureusement d'ailleurs 2 de ses membres qui ont été pris en otage et un qui a été exécuté par Daesh. Donc c'est un sujet qu'on suit de près. C'est très très difficile pour les ONG de travailler à l'intérieur de la Syrie. Elles sont obligées de travailler à partir de la Turquie, sous le contrôle extrêmement de plus en plus tatillon de la part des autorités turques. Donc c'est pas un désintérêt par rapport à la Syrie. Lyon travaillait avec Alep et il ne peut absolument plus rien faire et la volonté existe. On sent actuellement dans les collectivités françaises un vrai intérêt pour la question kurde, notamment la question du Kurdistan syrien, où il y a, nous on a fait une grosse réunion là-dessus il n'y a pas très longtemps avec des collectivités françaises qui sont très intéressés par la question. Je pense à Rennes, à Strasbourg, à Metz, qui sont qu'une vraie mobilisation. Il y a une deuxième mobilisation, on était ensemble d'ailleurs à Beyrouth il n'y a pas très longtemps, sur la question des réfugiés syriens au Liban. Et là, alors là, c'est un peu le paradoxe, parce que la question, c'est, il y a beaucoup d'argent pour les réfugiés. Il y a de l'argent du HCR et de l'Union européenne, notamment de ECHO, pour aider l'énorme quantité de 1,5 million de réfugiés au Liban, ce qui est, si les Libanais s'amusaient à faire comme les Turcs, à nous faire du chantage sur les réfugiés en disant on vous les envoie en Europe, ce serait une catastrophe épouvantable. Et je rends hommage au sang-froid et à l'hospitalité libanaise, sauf que dans cette affaire, on a complètement oublié les municipalités libanaises. Elles ont double peine. Elles ne touchent plus l'argent du gouvernement libanais qui n'existait plus, qui est très récent, mais des dotations de fonctionnement, et là je parle sous le contrôle du maire de Byblos, sont très très en retard. Et elles doivent supporter 1,5 million de réfugiés sans aucun moyen, alors que l'argent va aux réfugiés, ce qui est très bien, mais ne va pas aux collectivités locales. Donc on est dans une situation très compliquée. Et je pense qu'il ne faut pas opposer ONG, collectivités locales, c'est beaucoup plus complexe. Mais là, c'est une requête que je peux faire, pas vis-à-vis de l'UNESCO, bien entendu, mais plutôt vis-à-vis du HCR. Ce n'est pas son travail, mais en tout cas des grands bailleurs sur la question libanaise. C'est un véritable scandale, ce qui se passe actuellement dans les collectivités libanaises, qui doivent, sans moyens, il y a des villes libanaises qui ont doublé de population avec les réfugiés. Et les maires libanais ne savent absolument pas comment ils vont faire pour pouvoir gérer des situations aussi graves. Je pense à la Beka, je pense à la région de Tripoli, je pense au sud Liban. Donc voilà le problème. Alors moi je suis pour les ONG puisque j'en préside une, mais c'est pas là la réponse malheureusement à la question de l'intérieur du Liban, certainement pas, mais même de l'intérieur de la Syrie, mais même au Liban. Je pense qu'il faut une réponse globale qui mette aux premières loges les gens qui gèrent les territoires sur lesquels sont les réfugiés, et c'est les collectivités locales.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Unfortunately, we don't have time because this is a very interesting discussion. And there are a number of aspects which, in my view, we have not touched upon, such as the role of the press and the media, for example, and at the municipal level, or programs such as Neighborhood Watch, which are community building programs and also help security in the neighborhoods, because you have networks of informers among the residents themselves and various other topics. But I think on the whole, it's been more or less shown that we cannot simply go for monocausal explanations of what is happening, because the complexities are much too large and deserve to be further debated. So I would like to thank all the members of the panel and all the members of the young people here who have contributed to this discussion, and have a nice evening. Thank you.